We'll let Don go.
Okay.
I don't mind going.
I'm sorry?
I don't mind going.
Okay, go for it. Awesome.
No, I have to read from there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead and hit your name. Stand where the people can see you. If you can stand over here where the people can see you. There's a hot mic right here.
This is part of the routine, right? Slapstick stuff.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect.
Watch your step, everybody. Coco's video is on.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Jeffrey Michael Jensen. I'm in Spectrum 27. My poem is entitled Rubbing Two Odds Together Yet Coming Out Even. If you believe that. I played tenant lodger, living lullaby attic upgrade, turned into a jumper jostling maid dry wisdom, watching miniature interracial apartment nesting fly. It became tantamount to a total obsessive groundedness, as growing went unpredictable on a hard drive running. Rubbing two odds goes tactical on Major Mom's low confession. Super coolly, curly neighborhoods, mandatory perennial. Intrusive disappointment, repertoire, representation cry. Even expletive obstacles end up burning down to low fragments. Typal ladder, continue to tell record grit grind. I pulled clients out of line as incentives truly sparkle. Sour solitude, ecstasy, fevered archipelago. Blair net math, homesick, toxic boyhood, California, approaching vacancy homer, side journey gone. Another odd curse growing, Gandhi in a visual peril escape. Naked rattled, kissing cousins, strung out grieving, music skirts nightmare, catching starlight frothy. Warm upstream moisture, waiting anywhere, stuck lingering. Packed stone hands, remember praying trees, steady, supported. I faulted supremacy before being wondering what ribbon splash. Running indoors, ankles sweet, but security knack a tortured memory. Slumped shores, clarity, marriage of embroidery, surface, natural attraction. Ripped shade, jangled island, engineering purple, Swinburne decadence. Precision, focus, balance, abstract motion, gesturing a tender, cranky path. Milton mimics strong landscape exposure, long space paneling, palatable Pushkin, fragile contemplation shines organic, on cluttering virginity. I come out hissing pounds, dirty corner slump, and swallow derision enormous as Eliot's inconsequence. Tolling, tenacious, humble, chatting prey that even saves the day. Thank you.
A lot of literature in there.
Careful not to trip.
A lot of literature in there.
Okay.
Who's up next? I want to announce to my Zoom attendees that your books are not here. The books are with the classical in the mail, UPS. We've never used UPS. It's always been FedEx, but they're UPS this time. I asked for an overnight shipment. It looks like instead they sent them UPS. That's ground. So when they get here, we'll ship them out to you. It looks like mostly it's going to be mailed to you. But when they do get here, I will post, and we will have a curbside for those of you who are local. I hope you will come by and pick up your copy just to save the postage. Well, who's next, Coco? Let's see who's next. Shall we go to one of the Zoom folk there? Let's see who's how you can come out in this. Let's see, Judy Barrett, are you there? I don't see you out there in the Zoom audience. Beth Beard, did you check in? No. Lawrence Berger, I see you. You want to go live? You want to come on? You could read your poem now. Lawrence, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay,
Hi, Gigi.
all yours.
Okay, this is called Midnight Blues. I've got nerves of steel wool, that is. The smallest cake will send me reeling. Wait a minute, what am I saying? The smallest quake by free patootie. We're talking about being banned for life. Over and done with, never again. I never thought I'd survive attempted murder. My life is flashing before my eyes. I'm drowning. Please hold on to the rope.
All right. Hold on to the rope. Loretta Boyer. No, she's not here. Did she contribute? Oh boy, she's in the issue. Is Loretta in? Okay. Well, it's good to see she contributed. Bill Bozier. Did you tune in, Bill? No, you didn't, huh? How about Carol? Carol, did you make it? Eileen? Carol Boyce? I don't see you in the audience, but Cal Oakey's here. Cal, you want to read your poem?
When I was 18, I was licensed to preach the hellfire gospel of the Southern Baptist Church, and one of my prophets that I like was Amos, who is a country prophet, and it was not nuanced; it's more cosmopolitan than Isaiah. So this poem is called "Famous Amos and Mother Earth Fuckers."
I'll be playing the part of Famous Amos. While stacking on Famous Amos chocolate chips, the Lord appeared to me as I was working on a pastoral sonnet and said,
"Hey, boy, you got a lot of fools on your planet who've been messing with Mama Earth, and I want to tell you them, if you want your so-called Homo sapiens species to last a little longer than the approximately 200,000 years of your existence, then you sure as hell better change your Mother Earth fucking ways."
"But Lord," I said, "I am only a humble country poet, not some big shot cosmopolitan poet like Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel. Who in hell's gonna believe me?"
Look, boy, you humans are in danger of becoming the only species ever to cause your own extinction. So my question to you is, what the hell are you going to do about it?
So I stopped working on my pastoral sonnet and began to write, "Thus say the Lord."
Even though the Earth land has warmed by 1.5 Celsius over the past 250 years, the coal industry has blasted off mountaintops in West Virginia and strip mined sacred indigenous lands in the southwestern United States for more coal-generated electricity to turn on skyscraper lights, obscuring the starlight of 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. Ex-President Donald Trump calls this crap clean coal. I call it ecocide and environmental racism.
"Thus says the Lord."
Even though Exxon knew about the climate crisis in the 1970s, they lied about it for over 40 years, and along with the Koch brothers, spent billions blocking congressional action on climate change while spreading false science denying it. And though in 1988, the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere numbered 350 parts per billion, the upper limit for life on Earth to persist as we know it, according to credible scientists, oil barons continue to treat land, water, and skies of Mother Earth as private sewers. Hey, man, you can't eat money or drink oil, so keep it in the soil.
"Thus says the Lord."
Even though Mother Earth is experiencing her worst spate of species die-off since the loss of dinosaurs 65 million years ago, every hour 1.5 million pounds of plastic are dumped into the ocean. An island of 30 feet deep plastic debris, twice the size of Texas, and which is known as the North Pacific Jar, floats in the middle of the Pacific. Unless these petrochemical pendejos stop their Mother Earth fucking ways, there could be more plastic than fish in the sea by 2050.
Thus says the Lord.
Even though a third of food humans eat is pollinated by insects like honeybees, American bees are dying at an alarming rate from neonic pesticides. And though 20 years ago monarch butterflies numbered nearly 1 billion, their number has dropped 80% as use of weed killer glyphosate skyrocketed, leaving them little milk worth to eat. What say you, Homo sapiens, endangered species yourself? Better a world without monarch butterflies or one without Monsanto?
Okay, everybody say it with me.
Thus saith the Lord.
Even though carbon dioxide sits above the sky, translates into heat, which causes ice to melt, oceans to rise, and storms to gather, the United States uses 340,000 barrels of oil per day for 800 military bases around the world to fight wars over our fossil fuel, moving humanity ever closer to chasm of runaway climate disruption. Hey man, like I said in Deuteronomy, choose life over death. Convert your rockets and guns into solar panels and windmills and troops into the civilian climate corps.
Thus saith the Lord.
I was going to say now the Zoom people. Thus said, okay.
Even though
Thus
carbon
saith the
dioxide
Lord.
sits upon the sky.
Thus saith the Lord.
Yeah!
All right, here. Thus says the Lord. Oh, you say, okay. Even though the American Amazon rainforest is the planet's lungs, which supplies 20% of the world's oxygen and the home of close to 300 billion trees, divided into 16,000 species, about 2.5 million insect species, 1 in 5 fish species, 228 amphibians, 378 reptiles, 1 in 5 of all bird species, 427 mammals, and approximately 32,000 indigenous people. 91% of this deforested paradise has been used for livestock pasture.
Everybody say it for the last time.
Thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith the Lord.
Even though 2016 was the hottest year recorded on your planet, over these 12 months, the 4 networks devoted 50 combined minutes to the existential threat of climate change. And climate science says 80% of existing fossil fuels need to be kept in the ground, or atmospheric levels of carbon dioxide could reach 1,000 parts per million by the end of the century. 20 banks across 4 continents, 8 countries, and 50 U.S. states fund the Image Line 3 oil pipeline, which violates indigenous rights. And if built, would release as much greenhouse gas as 50 coal-fired power plants. There'll be no economy on the dead planet. What part of climate change emergency don't you Mother Earth fuckers understand?
On May 7th, 2021, indigenous rights and climate activists protested the branches of those Mother Earth fucking banks.
Stop the money pipeline,
says the Lord.
Thank you. All right.
Let's move this along. Pearl Lou, are you in the house? Pearl's not in the house. I'm backing up here because to make sure. Is Matt McGee in the house? I don't see you on the Zoom page, Matt. Okay, and Joe is in Detroit, as I last heard. But Sharon Smith Knight is in the Zoom house. So Sharon, it's yours. Take it away.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everybody. Hi, Sharon. Mine is called Odd or Even. We might seem like an odd couple. Some wonder if we're compatible. They said it would never work. Some people quoted scriptures to emphasize their point. They said that we were unevenly yoked. We think we're yoked just fine. We ignore the side eye stares, the head turning, the comments, sit under their breath just loud enough for all to hear. We say we aren't odd, but even. We fit like the gears in a fine clock, keeping time together. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Okay, next up, according to this, is Linda Crawford. And Linda is in the house. So, Linda, you ready?
I am. Thank you very much. Gosh darn, Sharon. Tough act to follow. Love that one. Okay. I'm going to read something called Caribbean Sea. Odd that I once thought making love in the sea would ebb and flow like warm waves with a hint of Georgette Ayre's gentility buoying us. Even our ancestors knew better. No kegling in Caribbean seas soothes sweat. Washes come into waves, come in and laughter. Across the ocean, lilting past Cape Verde towards a hint of Africa, beaconing stronger than any Victorian novel. Now, we're back in ourselves and alone on our pink sanded beach, watching green-skinned boys sneak high up coconut trees to remind us we have to pull out of this sweet salt wet, drench our sand-matted hair, quench our mouths' thirst, smile at seawater everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Linda Crawford. Drawing cheers out here live, Linda. I hope you can hear them. Okay. On the live mic, we'll have Kelly Green. Okay, number 14. Do it up. All yours.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be out here today. I wrote this poem after a visit to Mendocino back in 2019 when we could all travel. I was facing the ocean, and the ocean was just pounding the earth in all kinds of directions, and I was so inspired. So I wrote this. It's called Ablutions. So much water washes this planet. Some of it just now attacks this rocky shore with crisscrossing waves that aim for boulders and shatter their form in joyful sprays and plumes. There is no death in store today from this spectacle of purposeless pounding, warily watched by humans for hundreds of millennia. And though we are blessed or cursed by being able to conjure what we cannot see, the boundless time of this ocean's romp stretch the strands of imagination too far. Even our compulsive push to know is stalled. The hypnotic motion, the drift, the tumble ask not to be figured out, and death is not its purpose. Yet, high on these rocks is a retired lighthouse that fought the sea for sailors and fishermen, explorers and pirates, captains and convicts, and the sea surrendered some without scruple. Now all have come and gone, the drowned and the rescued, and the eternal surge of so much water continues, conscienceless, and thereby enviable, a model, at least briefly, the relief of imagining burdens lifted. Thank you.
Thank you. Kelly Green, folks. Regular contributor and regular flying contributor, makes the magazine that much better. Okay, after Kelly, we have also, we're still live, we'll say live with Bill Cushing.
All right, just nice to get out in the open here. This actually started as a writing exercise where this thing started, and it's kind of fitting that this is kind of fitting that this is issue 27 because this is about 3 cats, so with 9 lives apiece, that works out to 27 lives. Okay, so this is 3 cats. A tail twitches from behind the skate, laid on its side in a closet. Worn hard rubber wheels face out so that each time the kitten passes, rubbing an arch back against them, they move, scraping protests out from mottled rust of memories past. Watch cat. The sentry walks the night on cat feet that assert his territory. He ricochets in a clumsy and meandering way against a stucco wall, keeping one eye, his only one, on the grounds as he makes rounds. Feral cat. It took months and bribes stolen from the kitchen, but eventually he took to me, sitting on my lap while I napped, waiting for the day shift. When they arrive, their footsteps scare him again, every time, and he scurries, fleeing under the building's boilers to wait for the next midnight. Thanks a lot.
Cats. Yeah, cats. Next up on the order of Spectrum 27, as they will appear in print. Alicia Viga Espir. You're there, right, Alicia? Do I see your wave so I can see you're here? Yes, she's here. Okay, good.
Okay, I'm going to start here. It's my poem. Okay, I wrote this poem thinking about a friend that is also a very good writer, but is an extremely generous person, even though I didn't have an easy childhood growing up, and which always surprises me since most of us can only do what we were given. And that's what abuse keeps reinforced, because it's passed from one generation to the next, and the good stuff as well, but it's always a surprise to me. So the odd thing. I listen in the margins to stories never written, or at least never made into a manuscript. Vibrant words sparkling in their blue ink outfits, telling of familiar tragedies or odd, secretive ones not meant for the public. Today, as I recline my head on the pillow with the weight of many books, not all of them read, just wish a voice could recite all the horizontal lines your eyes can see from Casablanca to Arles, when privation shaped what you could give in the inverse, which always surprises me, since most of us can only return what we receive. You celebrate the giving of yourself in every text. That's why I mean.
best reads come when they spill it all out on the page. I agree. That's what we read. That's why we write, right? Well, not all of us. Can't be that honest. Okay, Mark is not here. He's in Tehachapi, right, Mark? Did you tune in? Wave if you're in, Mark. Mark's not in the house. Okay, Maria Arena. Don Kingfisher Campbell himself. And he's appearing live.
Thank you very much. Good to see you out in Zoom land. You can read my life story in Spectrum 27, but I'm more enamored of this poem I wrote yesterday. I know it strikes fear in your hearts to hear someone say, I wrote this poem yesterday. It's called Artifacts. I hung butterflies in our bathroom, hoping you'll fly back. 2 bulging suitcases with wheels in the closet sit. For another year you stay. An empty nightstand near the bedside next to me reminds of nullity. I shelve new underwear in clear drawers under a dressing table until to be used vitamins crowded in a plastic basket vie to feel once more finger virtue. A shiny train of thermoses atop the kitchen cabinet top shelf again await your touch. Pair of plush massage chairs dominate the living room center of almost free furniture, gravity chained. The engagement ring silently rings in a velvet box in storage rear, not knowing if there will be a return.
Okay. Okay. That was an odd fit. All right, here we go. The next on the live list, it looks like we're coming back live. After Don, we're going to follow that up with a poem by Charles Harmon.
Good afternoon, everybody, here and there and everywhere. Wow, odd and even. That was a tough subject for me, but I immediately think of sports, keeping score, odd or even, and of course it is baseball season, and we are the home of the world champions. Let's hear for the Dodgers. And by the way, Rain Dog gave me this T-shirt. Poets are essential workers. So thanks for writing. This is called the Word Series of Poetry. It had been a long pandemic season with hardly any fans in the stands. When the playoffs finally arrived for the Word Series of Poetry, the powerful Pasadena poets had knocked off the Venice versifiers, the Long Beach lyricists, the haiku cuckoos, and the Seattle silly sonneteers, while the Alhambra hunger artists had finished off the Berkeley bards, the New York nutcases, the Riverside rhymesters, the visiting Tokyo Tonka toy tankers, and the San Francisco coupletiers. So it was not odd that Alhambra and Pasadena were tied 3-3 in the series, even Steven, and all tied up at the top of the ninth. In the deciding game, winner takes all. It was 17-17 in what would have been a high-scoring game if this were baseball, but in the Poetry Word Series, everyone gets to play or read, and participation trophies are de rigueur. especially now that meetings are on Zoom. Some highlights of the game so far. The Commerce Comet, also known as Coco, had blazed one Sestina over the fence, scoring 4 runs with RBIs, driving in the double duties with their song and dance, as well as Jumpin' Jack Po-Man with analytical poems. The Beverly Hills Hurler, I don't know if that's Collins or Higgins, but she had held the heavy hitters to singles, doubles, and walks. But the score mounted, so they sent in Jackie Robin's song as relief pitcher, tossing haiku and Tonka liners with occasional free verse. But Cal O'Key got walked to first base with a villanelle, preventing him from poetry slamming one into the stands. Jammin' Josh and Jolting Jim got singles with abstract verse, and the bases were loaded as GT Good Trouble stepped to the plate, an advocate of humor in rhyme. A power hitter, he knocked one into the cheap seats for 4 more. So I'm covering my face, but the mask would normally do that. Kung Fu Panda Poet with the number 7 on his jersey, next in the lineup, whacked it to the fence for a triple. Now in poetry, nobody wants to be known as the man of steel, but believe you me, Bob, early in the season, the Petaluma Pleasurists were disqualified for doing just that. Hall of Fame way, next step to the plate, Lori clobbered the ball, and while she was running to first, 7 was sliding into home. The man of steel. Bill Durham batted a ballistic ballad and made it to first. That's when Haiku Herman, also known as Babe Truth, was sent in as a pinch hitter, probably pinching a loaf, causing the opposition to substitute a relief pitcher due to it being the doggerel days of summer. Nicknamed the Splendid Syllable Splitter and the Sandman while fielding, not just because he put everyone to sleep with his bad jokes, but also because he could scoop up a ground ball from anywhere and make it a pun. Expected to be a mighty Casey at the back for his obsessive use of the subjunctive and the ablative grammatical cases, he struck out after ignoring the first 2 good pitches, then falling asleep on his feet before waking, shaking, and quaking out. The teams exchanged fielding for batting in the bottom of the 9th, and it was the Radical O'Miracle first up to bat, aiming for heaven. He slugged it toward the fence, but had to settle for first due to good fielding. Then another Miracle poet with a sonnet under her bonnet hit a good line drive that got her to first and boosted the Rad Man to second. Satchel Sonnet Poetry Page hit a high foul that went into the stands, but a gust of hot air from the fans blew it back onto the field, and by then the bases were loaded again, as were many of the poets, waiting for the cleanup hitter. The force was strong with this one, and they called him the Kingfisher because he always brought a magnificent catch to the table monthly. Also known as the Say Hey Kid, Cool Papa, Dances with Words, the Sultan of Swing, Big Poet Pappy, the Word Wizard, Noble Durham, and the Poetry Pirate. This guy is truly the poetry man who brings poetry to thousands. No way this guy could strike out. Maybe he has before, but let's not talk about that, haven't we all? Pitching for Pasadena, Poetry Pistol Pete pumped his pitch, clocked it over 3,000 miles per hour, but the radar gun was rigged. No problem for the Poetry Fisher as he blasted it out of the stadium. Taking a victory lap for the poets and fans, he reminded us all to get our pitches in on time for next month's edition. No late work will be accepted. Let's hope the world will open up soon for the boys and girls of summer. And praise the Lord.
Thank you.
If you didn't like baseball,
I love baseball, so hey, I love that.
Okay, I'm just stepping in here for a minute, everybody. We just ordered the pizza, so if you're on Zoom, get the hell over here, okay? Otherwise, no pizza for you. All right, don't say you weren't warned.
Pizza. Okay, we stay live. Rick Letty is in the house. And so, Rick, 22, Rick, 22.
Okay, this one's called The Pirate Show. I saw the devil in Las Vegas enjoying a pirate show. Because the Prince of Darkness loves rigging and sails, he adores brigantines, caravels, clippers, cutters, frigates, and galleons. But this was a ghost ship, an orphan moored on a desert sea, never to kiss the eternal bride or be billowed by the gentle trade winds. It sailed inside a casino surrounded by slots and derelict lives. But the devil needs to come inside every now and then, where hell is air-conditioned and the drinks are comped. Beelzebub's loves leering at curs, wielding cutlasses with malicious intent. All those pretty boy wannabes leading unswashbuckled daytime lives under the shimmer of the nuclear sky. He tastes their metallic blood, inhales their aroma from the desiccated air, then swallows their dying dreams whole. Ice rattles clear in his tumbler. An embroidered dragon breathes fire from the pearlescent sea of his sealskin smooth silk jacket. His eyes suddenly fixed on mine, boring deep in gray matter. It was then that he knew that I knew he was the devil. And he seemed vaguely surprised that I recognized him, like as if I was a clever worm suddenly grown sentient. But the magic mushrooms do not lie. The night already filled with jumping bathroom tiles and swirling carpet designs as we sought a Chinese restaurant talking Buddha only to find it closed and him silent for the night. The hot midnight Scirocco outside spoke truths to me. It rasped. This city is an Edward Hopper painting of neon loneliness. A Mojave Mirage shit mountain with glitter on top. What happens here stays here because there must be a place to embrace your sins and a cemetery to bury them. The devil resides in Las Vegas. I have seen him myself with kaleidoscopic vision. Azazel hides in the deceptive glow that spews photons into the still and different night. Mephistopheles lurks in the void between elation and shame. Old Scratch is a harbinger skittering on a web of rolling bones and flashing despair. But above all, he loves himself a jaunty pirate show. I've seen it. His eyes aglow, hard water melting in his glass, my brain sweating psilocybin in psychotic dreams. He has seen me and I have seen him in this land of odds and evens, where the tumble of a marble on black or red determines the landscape of heaven or hell.
I love it. Sin City. Where else? Come on. Where else is the devil going to reside? Thank you, Rick Letty. Yes, indeed. Let's get back on it, or stay on it. Is Kathy Bautista in the Zoom house?
I am. I've been in here a few minutes.
Wonderful. Then it's yours to take away. Let's read on.
Okay. So at the beginning of the pandemic, my hair was not silver. It was kind of auburn. And so I wrote this poem when I decided to let my hair go natural. It's called Tabby Cat. I am a tabby cat with multicolored hair, gray, black, copper, silver, even in odd strands of colors woven together randomly, smooth and glistening in the sun. My symbol of resistance and liberation from the message that values youth over age. Coppered locks faded from discarded boxes of dye that tried to hide my wisdom, achievement, experience. I am silver, even as the strands create a halo around my face. Valuable, versatile, virtuous. I am a tabby cat, authentic, artistic, accomplished, hindsight and foresight, sassy, spunky, independent, marmalade ginger spice steel. My ombre hair signals a bit of my path as a calico, but dares not whisper where I've been, nor where I'm going. Accompany me and you'll see.
Thank you, Kathy Bautista. It's new to Spectrum, but thank you, thank you. We're going to go live with Christian Kidd. That will say
It's good to be back. Thank you, GT, for hosting. Thank you, My Place Cafe. And thank you, Pages, for turning. All right, so my poem's called The World After. The world after. It's all crashing down like a ton of bricks. Red and flashy. Things reopen. Kids go back to school. Bars produce drunks. Drunks uphold the bars. The restaurants serve their dishes and fresh caps are brewed to indoor patrons who can wake up and smell the coffee. But underneath it all, the angst is there. Nasty, bitter angst. We have the scars like we were in war. They dance before our mind. We shudder at going back to that. Our lives are the same, yet never the same. As we ruminate, drinking our pain and licking our wounds, it's going back to normal, 25% to 50%, an odd to an even, an odd world to an even one. No more masks, no more tears, although we've lost the tears of yesterday. All my troubles made me hide away. We've rejected yesterday. Tomorrow we will reopen and live, drink, and be merry. For the next day, another bug, another war, another cancer. We then die. Open emptiness, close resilience. This is the modern world after it all. Thank you.
well done. Well done. Thoughtful. Okay, folks, that was Christian Kidd. Next, we'll have Jackie Chow.
Oh, it's so good to be here after not seeing everybody for a year. Odd or even? Odd or even, I'm just a number to you. In a bed, in a cold room, 103A. My breath unheard. My pain kept to myself. I am made of numbers. Blood pressure normal, temperature normal, heart rate slightly awry. 23 pairs of chromosomes to distinguish me as a human in your eyes. You are also unidentifiable. The name on your badge blurred under fluorescent lights. Your hand holds my ticket to sanity, health, life, the next level of care. Another institution whose walls surround me like a circular wind. Your work on me done. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Marsha Greco, are you in the house? Wave. Oh, Marsha did artwork in the art. Wait. And I can't show you the art. Okay, then we'll move to R.A. Ruad up in Nova Scotia.
Howdy. Hang on, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, this one's called Oddball. I always knew I was an odd child, different from the others. I didn't get their jokes. I brought the wrong gifts to parties, or didn't know a sleepover was a birthday. When choosing sides for teams, I was the odd one out. I didn't understand why a girl would be chosen last, even though I was a fast runner. Always on the outside,
gatherings of cliques, of teams, of common knowledge, of social niceties, of acceptance, of connections. I was simply odd. So I became my oddness. I identified as odd before identify was a thing. I made odd clothes from my own fantasy, hung with other odd kids, out-odding them. I suppose it worked in an odd sort of way. I lived my odd space. Oddly enough, decades later, I learned I was admired for the courage of my oddness. They thought I was so fearless for daring to be the odd one. Not that anyone ever said so. After all, an oddity is not quite human. Odd how I hid the pain so well, and ostracizing the oddness which they admired was not considered odd. Even now, I often feel out of place and unbelonging. Odd, isn't it?
It is. It's not poem. Very good poem. Thank you, Rose. R.A. Okay, let's move it right along. After R.A., we have, who do we have, Don? Okay, let's see. We have Dean. Dean, you're in the house. Dean Okamura.
I want to see you here next time. Okay. I take all the comments that I can get. Let's see. Okay, share screen. Okay. Share. Okay. Yeah, I call this one In the Land, odd or even, with a question mark. In the land of mathematician, there stood two political parties. Their founders used simple division as they divided the country by 1 or 2. They based the older party on 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. They called themselves the even party and picked the color blue. While the other party, based on 1, said 1, 3, 5, 7. They called themselves the odd party and picked the color red. They divided the country, 50% odd or 50% even. The odd red party protested the fact that dividing their numbers by 2 never came out even. For example, 3 divided by 2 is 1, remainder 1. And they wanted to conserve their remainder 1 and not hand out their surplus to the lazy citizens of the land. Then came candidate 0, who looked like the leader of a compromise. 0 divided by 2 is 0. 0 divided by 1 is 0. The blue party saw clear sailing with the same answer for each division. The red party was disturbed about the suspicious missing remainder. Then came candidate Infinity, who bragged to break the rules. Infinity divided by 2 is undefined. Infinity divided by 1 is undefined. When asked for his net worth, he said it was huge. In fact, they are still counting his net worth, and no one knows when they will be done. When candidate Infinity lost an election, he said he won by a huge number. He doubted the official results. In fact, the odd party is still counting. His friends are still counting, and no one knows when they will be done. Thank you.
Still counting. You're welcome, Dean. Yes. Mira, you're in the house? Mira?
Yes.
Okay, Mira, you are up.
There we go.
Even for us. As a child in my elementary class, I always did my homework and went to school early so other classmates could copy it.
My brother ensured my arithmetic homework was always correct. He often found mistakes made by my old teacher and made corrections. So the students were correct and the teacher not. The teacher, instead of teaching mathematics, talked about food and the need for girls to learn how to cook, not mathematics. No one ever checked him. However, at the end of the semester, he was retired and we got a new teacher. Our new teacher was excellent and expected the same from us. No one could really help us when my brother was not available. At great odds, we decided to study more rather than admit our secret to the new teacher about help from my brother. We gradually caught up, doing a lot of extra work. It was not that bad, although it felt that way. We did the serious work ourselves and therefore learned. We may have felt at odds, but our teachers and parents felt good.
Yeah. Thank you, Mira. Yeah. And Maureen Hurley. I don't think you're there, are you, Maureen? You're not here, so you're not there. So we're going to move along. Tom Garcon, did you make it in from Boise, Idaho? No. Tom? Yeah, he's here. Tom, great to see you, Tom. All yours.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me? Okay. My poem is called Lie Buried. Face deep drowning in wolf's tears, blooming with its vast purpose. Critical bios point to epic contributions. I measure time in the defeat of infinity, in my inner conflicts with literature. Endless poems cluster into my own starlit shells, in their cavernous depths. A desire to reach my future goals envelops me trying to avoid bookshops. But I find more texts hidden below heaps of forgotten nonfiction. And I return to dreaming with the modernists, chant mantras with the beats. Their sentient beings become like chariots of remembrance. These walls become launchpads of willful images, when even as a boy, I had escaped to Dr. Seuss's history books and Gothic novels. I enter the present realm and set out to mirror the classic barns for twilight shines, reflecting this lone, solemn space. Thanks, everybody.
Good work, Tom. Thank you. I'm going to skip mine. I'm going to move right along. How about Michael Lee Johnson? Are you in the house? I didn't think so. Jasper is the name of his poem. But Lori Wall Holloway is here. She's here live. And so bring her to the mic. Lori.
Okay. My poem is entitled Odd Times. These days during the COVID pandemic are odd and so frustrating. I consider myself to be easygoing, able to be flexible, bend with winds caused by unforeseeable storms. But lately, the pressure of the age has begun to push me to anger limits, squeezing me with lack of time to complete needed tasks. I find my words and requests land on ears and stay on them without going inside the brain to register. A breath of fresh air in an ocean breeze sounds inviting. Anything to refresh my mind as I seek to return to being even-tempered, especially with a changed heart. Thank you.
Words and requests land on ears, but don't reach the brain. Really? Yeah, absolutely. Rose Shafang, are you in the house? Is Rose? Yes.
Yes, I'm here.
You are now up, Rose.
Okay. I will share. Okay, my title is A Wish. You may think it is art or even absurd. By wish, time could be reverted back to when the sky was crystal clear. Vision could reach as far as eyes desire. No views obscured by lingering brown vapor. Air was fresh with scent of nature, without soot or smoke odor. And we could breathe freely without air purifier or masks. Sea was pristine without clutters. Fish were free to swim around with no threat of being smothered by plastic waste. No radioactive nuclear plant waste digging into the ocean that eventually spread all around. Lands were unspoiled by chemicals. No polluted farm products reached our table. We could enjoy food without worrying about harm to our health. Climate were as predictable as seasons. Rain or snow followed the old patterns. No horrendous extreme weather, global warming, or drought. And if it were possible to go back to when we were not consumed by avarice, we could start all over with love to earth, reverence to nature, moderation in our indulgence. Maybe we would not face such a ominous future.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rose. Always thoughtful poetry from Rose. Moving along, we've already had karaoke. Somehow we got out of order. But hey, that only means we bring up Thelma Reyna. Dr. Thelma R. Reyna, folks, to the mic.
Thank you so much, GT and Don Kingfisher Campbell for doing all this for us. And hello to all the people on Zoom. It's nice to see some familiar faces again. Mine is very short, and it's called Neighbor Lady on the Front Porch. Perhaps if I pile my dreams on a plate and offer them up, I won't reckon them much. Tomorrow I'll hang my soul out on the line and pin it tighty with wooden clothespins, so even though the wind blusters, my soul won't fly. Tonight, I'll open up the matchstick gate and pluck my heart out like a ripe plum and stash it in the broken drawer by my bed. Yes, one by one, I'll give them up. My mind I'll lay on the back stoop with a dog dish, and maybe he'll lap it up and swallow it whole. Yes, and then I won't have anything to lose. You'll wonder why I sit content on my porch all day and rock, back and forth, like a perfect clock. And you'll pass by and envy me, envy old Wanda, everyone envying me for not having a care in the world.
Drop them all. Drop them all. And once we let that mind go, is Patricia in the house? I don't think so. Patricia Murphy, are you with Radimir? Taking care of Luz, right? Take good care of Luz. Okay. Samantha, M, did you make it? Wave to me if you did, Samantha. No, Samantha's not there. So move right along to Coco. Coco.
Oh, wow. Okay, I was ready for that. Alzheimer's Lament is not the poem that I thought would be in the issue, but I'm excited that it is. It also has one of my images next to it. And I just wanted to pay tribute to the artist that did our cover. For those of you who get your cover, this is an amazing cover, you guys. Check that out. Isn't that awesome? Can't wait to have that in hand. Alzheimer's Lament. It was over a century ago that I first fell in love with you. At least, I thought it was love. Now I can't be too sure. Perhaps I've been in a coma, dreaming of the last face I saw. The once warm and blissful memories fade into nitrogen gas darkness. How did I get here? How long has it truly been? My reality is turned upside down. Are these memories or fantasies of wishful thinking? Do I dream with eyes wide open through a rose-tint filter? I used to pray back then that I could live long enough to share a life with you. Write chapters of our story as you sip your tea reading a book. I saw us there in the future. Destiny gave me a postcard picture to hold on to. Now I shake my head in disbelief. This can't be you. This can't be us. Cobweb memories, dust-settled dreams. Where did the warmth of love disappear? It has been a decade since I can recall that feeling. My hair has begun to turn white while I sit here waiting to wake up from this nightmare, waiting to return to the paradise within your arms, a time when I felt adored. When leaving each other for even 5 minutes felt like 5 years. I'm tormented by our paths, angry, lost, and bitter as I sit here. This is certainly no present. Can there even be a future? Is it still there waiting patiently in the waiting room? What does our chart say about our recovery? Do the odds favor a new beginning? Will I continue to wear this grace eternally? The black widow's poison courses through my veins like a live wire of electricity. Lashing in the street, it sparks struts towards my heart. Let it be crueler to await my dark fate. Hope turns the corner. Happiness trails close behind. I am entangled in this dreary state of wonderment. Cocooning myself in misery, I tell myself that I will arise anew. Deep within, I feel this is my tomb, my mummified love for you. It may have died long ago. I just keep lamenting, praying it isn't so. Arms thrown over the casket, unwilling to let Hades have his prize. Alzheimer's keeps me living a love that would never die. Thank you.
Okay, Matab, Mowgli, are you in the house? No, Matab's not. And Laura Lee Kay, did you come in from Victorville? Wave to him if you did. No, Laura Lee didn't come in. Gwendolyn Flesher. Wait a minute. Where's somebody? Someone else. Where's someone else? He's in here. Someone else is. He's got appointment here. There's someone else. And you had appointment here, right, Song? Someone else? What number was it? Do you remember?
No.
Okay, I got it. Here we go. I get it right here. Someone else. I'm sorry, folks. I got one person. I somehow skipped someone else. Here we go. And we're going to find him on page. He's on number 8. Come on, someone else. Someone else. You got it?
All right.
No, wait. Stop.
All right. So this is called Schizophrenic Love Poem. I want to be a nice guy and a bad boy too. I want to have my way with you, yet be your servant too. I want to sweep you off your feet. I want to ravish you. I want to be your daddy dom and your Prince Charming too.
I really want to be romantically naughty with you. I want to make you smile and blush, give you orgasms too. I want to make sweet love to you and to fuck you too. I want to be your bad boy and your nice guy too.
Thank you. You're absolutely welcome. I hope I didn't skip any more live readers. Okay. Okay, then we'll get GT. Anybody in the house? Did I miss anybody in the house who's in this edition? Beverly Higginson, I see you're here. Hi. Are you in this edition? You didn't submit. Ken? Scott?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Okay,
No, I'm not.
absolutely. Okay, then I think the readers have read. I'll read mine, and I think we can wrap it up. Let's see, GT's in here somewhere. My poem is called Odd Time to Go. The bus does not wait for the late, not women with overfilled bags scampering down the street, nor for lagging elder citizens, speed shuffling, walker contraptions on aching, arthritic feet. Should a driver stop, it would alter clocks, not only there, but on several other blocks. We once took a bag of just purchased merchandise to a clerk who was suddenly surly and upset. For in the store-wide charge card membership drive, although knowing usury rates skin clients alive, he was none the less torn by his own need to thrive. Hence, since his earlier spill to us had been rejected, his hurt pride now projected a willingness to fret. He was peeved and perhaps felt he'd been deceived. For when we learned savings amount we could earn, we'd backstep and signed with another sales rep. And now had come back as though baiting, stating, we want to turn it all in, then we'll buy it back again. Well, after he gave us silent, cold stares, he snapped, take it back upstairs. My day is done and I must run. Then he added the reason, plain but shoddy. What can I say? I'm from East LA and the bus don't wait for nobody. Well, it was a convenient song. As salesman, he'd earned no commission at all. But despite his bluster, he was no doubt flustered, for he gave back cash and store receipt. As he departed on foot a fleet, he spun around and said, I must repeat, the bus won't wait for the late. The bus don't wait for nobody. Our minds momentarily twisted in the mystery of this event. Then GT asked my wife, Robin, probing my intent. Yes, I know, was my short reply, aware it was time to go. I looked at her. I looked not at her, nor she at me. Walked out the door. Our wares were free. A whopping shopping serendipity, because the bus won't wait for nobody. All right, folks, that wraps our Spectrum 27 reading. However, there are a couple of people in the house who haven't read. If you got something to read, Beverly, you got anything you want to read today? No, Ken, you want to share something before we sign off? Okay, Ken Scott, go ahead.
I have one piece that I can share. And the piece that I'm going to share is called This Shelf. This shelf is where I leave my dreams, hopes, and desires for utopian futures. This shelf is where I leave my yearnings, struggles, and plans for freedom and peace. This shelf is where I leave my controversial words, my unsettling insights, my deepest faith, my most moving prayers, my very life. This shelf is where I leave, living life on this shelf, mere existence, aimless toil. This shelf, my broken soul. This shelf, my black hairs turning gray. This shelf of ushered tears, this bursting forth from within my heart like empty waterfalls of frustration, missed opportunity. This shelf is where hands fail to grasp the meaning of joy. This shelf of hollow promises and 9-to-5 damnation for the sake of this comfort luxury shelf named nameless by stumbling feet, wondering where the next job and godforsaken meal and dream will come from, while the system meanders onward like some drunken Hitler youth hooked on homeland security and police brutality, and yet another threat of terrorism from yet another enemy, while yet another forsaken soul perishes anonymously on this shelf. And yet another dream of freedom dies on this shelf. And yet another quest for truth wallows powerless on this shelf. And yet another herd of innocent people is slaughtered on this shelf. And yet another lonely teardrop finds its place on this shelf. And every day I have to remind myself to stop spending the best years of my life on this miserable, insular, God-forsaken shelf.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen, a little business before we wrap up. You know, Spectrum 20, well, anyway, 27, you all know it's in the mail, right? It'll be, when I get it, I will post on my website, I will post on Saturday Poetry that it's in, and those of you who want to come by curbside, come on down, please. As soon as I get it, I'll post that. Otherwise, we'll be shipping it out. Mr. Berger, thank you. I got your order in the mail, received the dough. You'll get your 4 books shipped out to New York. Anybody else want to make your special orders? I ordered less, folks. We had gotten up to a run of 150 with Spectrum, but pandemic is kicked our butt. We're back down to 100 runs, so there won't be many extras. If you think you want an extra copy, please make a quick order to me. The next call, Spectrum 28. And Don assured me he's not trying to play Stump the Poets. But the next call is great. He's going to change it.
Hello, Santa Claus here. I'm going to give you all a gift. We've changed the theme for Spectrum 28. We've received only one submission because I guess it was just too weird. So we changed it to Create. Spectrum 28. Create. Okay, so I hope that's a little easier. You have a poem about creation, or has the word create in it. And if you think 2 months is too long to wait for Spectrum 28, forgive the rhyming. Next Saturday, that's right, on Zoom, we're going to do a writing workshop for the online edition, Summer Sounds. Summer Sounds. So next Saturday, hope to see you at 3 o'clock on Zoom to write poetry about summer sounds. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's see. I think that was it. Let's see.
I was gonna read the poem.
Okay, hang on. Let's see. Poetry. Go Danish poetry podcast. That's right. Hold on. I've got our host who ran the live. He ran the live YouTube. This recording. We're going to be on YouTube. If you want to see this again, you can tune back up, and we're going to bring him on. Jesse Tobar didn't read. He wants to read a poem before we were out of here. Ready? Hang on. Let Mr. Cushing clear. Got it. Good. Okay. Go ahead. Oh, you know.
I know. Okay. All right. So I'm reading a poem of Christian kids. I'm gonna read "Funny." How little and how much young people know of evens and odds, and I speak with knowledge in words of fun. I am young. Funny how little the old drunks at the bar know, only because one's British. I wish I was so old and British. Pilate asked, what is truth? He was middle-aged, heavy medium, a centrist, ready to fall for the stupidest things. No one asks, whatever happened to Barbara's? This part right here, when I was reading this part, reminded me of Joey from Friends, because I watched the reunion yesterday So I'm gonna attribute this part to Joey. Was he young and stupid, as well as old and selfish, in the middle and indecisive? It makes no sense to me. More beer, please. Maybe we all know that. I mean, look. I mean, if you watch the end of season 9 and season 10, Friends, Rachel and Joey made out, and people were pissed. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, folks. That is it for the live Zoom. This was a hybrid, a Zoom and live broadcast. Thank you, and good night. Thank you very much.
All right, you guys, that's going to conclude our reading. Don't forget that this live stream via YouTube. I want to thank everyone that helped put this together. Big thanks to John Kingfisher, our editor-in-chief. Big thanks to G.T. Fosher for getting us our submissions and having the mic and speaker available. Huge thanks to Jesse Tovar for booking the venue, My Place Cafe, and having us stream live via YouTube. Thank you to all of those who contributed. Thank you to all that showed up today. You guys are amazing. This community is awesome. And that's going to be it for us, guys. We're ending early. Yes! All right, enjoy your Saturday. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Not Kingfisher, signing out.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay, yeah. Mine's
All right. All right.
Bye.